badass. That'd be cool. Yeah, I think there's plenty of ways to make PvE way more interesting in this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the last one says our ambitions are definitely large, but obviously you see a giant walking one in the background. Yeah. Yeah. So that's all. Dude, I'm all for it.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things they could do.
Yeah.
Miscalculated, distracted by the prize. I patiently waited. You had yours and I could not.
Test.
But I felt miserably.
Nightmate. Welcome to my channel. Streamlaments. Welcome to my channel.
Now I bathe in my misery. Felt miserably. Now I bathe in my misery.
Jay.
You know,
Thanks
I
for
haven't
following.
played Silent Hill 4
Oh my
as
god.
much as its
Hello,
three
thank you.
siblings. In fact, before I replayed it for this video, I can recall myself maybe finishing the game 3 separate times throughout my life, making today a special milestone as I mark my 4th return to Henry Townsend's Homesick Nightmares. If you've ever had even a passing interest in the classic Silent Hill games, you've most likely heard people describe 4 as compelling but complicated. Maybe a little too difficult, or perhaps not very good at all. I played SH4 pretty close to its release, and while I remember finding the game bewildering, I never disliked it. Things began to change when I started using the root of all of our problems, the internet. For years, I'd watch and read the opinions of others who found the game confounding. Through a mixture of not having access to my original PS2 copy and taking the words of those who started YouTubing before me as gospel, I would sadly adopt the general consensus as my own feelings towards The Room. Wait, not this room. Don't get me wrong, I love this room. After playing the recently released Silent Hill F and enjoying it quite a bit, I couldn't help but think how similar I found some of the combat in relation to the Silent Hill 4 I had in my memories. Well, I guess those were a bit foggy, because outside of an endless amount of enemy battles, a few breakable weapons, and a ton of melee charged up attacks, SH4 felt completely unique to me on my recent replay. Instead of ridiculously playing the game in 1 or 2 marathon play sessions as I would have before, I did things a tad different this time. I replayed SH4 over the course of a week, spanning multiple hours-long play sessions where I really took my time. I read through every file, traversed the multiple horrifying otherworlds carefully, got the best ending, and pieced together my own personal reading of the room's subtext.
I've been staring at screens all day. What do you
I'll
need?
be honest with you, I came away from the experience loving the game. I basically role-played SH4, and it was great. If time has proven anything, it's that video games with contentious release reception will always inevitably get
Good thing.
Oh. The Silent Hill franchise is no stranger to this phenomenon, as basically every entry in the series have gotten their own positive re-examinations over the years. From Homecoming to Downpour, Origins, and Shattered Memories. I'm sure you can find a glowing review for Team Silent Endeavor have received more than one positive retrospective from, get this, fans of those games. While my opinions on those particular titles will undoubtedly shift in a direction, today we'll be focusing on the first Silent Hill that dared to be different. The word of the day is change, my friends, so get cozy, because we're literally trapped in my apartment. Let's see how Team Silent's The Room
Natalia
changed
Parker.
Silent Hill.
Welcome to my channel. Jay. Welcome to my channel.
Hello.
Was discovered earlier today. Police have ruled it a homicide and are investigating. The number is 17121 and were reportedly carved into the man's body. Due to the marks on the victim, the police are investigating possible links to the Walter.
In my SH3 video, I talked about due to a lack of sales following SH2's release, especially in Japan, more games would have to be developed to make up for that title's costs. Silent Hill 4's development actually started while 3 was being made. Having the foresight of where SH3 was going with the series' return to Game 1's story, the other branch of Team Silent would take 4's creation in a radically different direction. If you're even remotely interested in horror gaming, you've most likely heard of SH4 starting its life as an original title disconnected from the Silent Hill universe. This is a common misconception born from a possible misunderstanding from an old developer interview. According to most of the staff, SH4 The Room, codenamed Room 302, was always meant to take place in the Silent Hill world. SH2 director Tsuboyama Masashi would return as chief designer, handling game designs, art, and the creation of characters. Murakoshi Sugaru, Game 2's cinematics director, would take the lead director's chair this time. Series composer and producer Yamaoka Akira would also produce and work on SH4 while working on SH3.
Theos.
You might think Yamaoka would
Welcome
make
to my
equal
channel.
music for both games,
Driving
but
at the
no.
moment,
He
but my
actually
squad and I will
24
pull up
tracks
heavy
for
on your
3
next
and
stream. Add me
35
on
for
Discord,
SH4.
Rami.
You
Albeit
shouldn't
a
watch
lot of
anybody.
them go unused in the
Welcome to my
driving.
channel.
but
I
they
need
exist.
someone to
There are
play
some
with you
artists
solo.
who live and breathe their craft day and night, and Yamaoka is one of those artists. I guess it makes sense when you consider his.
What do you mean by that? English isn't really my native language, but ako bi pričao ovako ne bi me niko razumeo, but thing is, you probably want to say you need somebody to play with, you don't want to play solo. Is that it? Is that what I'm trying to get?
Would you like a teammate?
I am doing challenges. It's fine. I'm doing trial runs. Maybe later. Thanks for your offer.
Have your eyes adjusted to the
dark
It's kind of
yet, Raider?
easier to do challenges
Loot is
solo.
ripe for the picking while most of Toledo is asleep. Though my suppliers say that Ark is twice as
No
vigilant
problem.
after sunset.
It's like my recommendation to you. If you want to do challenges, go solo.
Could be interesting. Hey! No! Howdy! Don't shoot! Hey there! Hey there! Howdy!
Hello. Hello.
Howdy! Don't shoot! Thanks. Thanks, Raider.
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you. Did you, man? Watch it, watch it. Oh, no, don't quit, don't quit, don't quit.
Hazy's making them at help leader.
Don't quit. Where are you? Wait, wait. Wait, defib, wait. You're welcome. Ow.
Hazy Colony Solan Table.
Mene? Slavko, ne mogu da te slome. Kad imaš jebeni medium shield, ne mogu da te slome tako kao što ti misliš. Kad imaš light shield, ko da ga nemaš. Kad ga imaš, ko da ga nemaš. Hello. Hello.
Hey! Howdy! Thanks!
Hello.
Macro view on the Solani table.
Yeah, can I shoot robots? Can I? Oh my god. Ground control to Major Tom. No.
orbiter is en route. The safe window is closing. You have 10 minutes to return to Speranza. I repeat, 10 minutes.
Hey there! Hello? Howdy!
Hello.
Left. Last chance to get out safely. I repeat, 2 minutes.
Hey!
Hello.
Also came back for 4. The cinematics director of SH4 was a man by the name of Tsujimoto Atsushi, who helped create the chilling Fallen Angels-inspired cutscenes that intro each of the game's horrifying ghost enemies. Tsujimoto would also go on to be chief director of the recently released Silent Hill: The Short Message, which, if you've never played that game, is filled with SH4 references. Play 4 and then The Short Message back to back, and it's gonna feel like you've played some bizarre young adult novel rendition of the game you just played. It's pretty interesting. Something that was important to the team this time around was being able to successfully sell this game in Japan. The Resident Evil series always sold better in Japan, so a more action-packed change in direction was needed. So the team thought. With that idea in mind, actually coming up with an appropriate concept was difficult. A lot of ideas were proposed, but ultimately turned down for being too different. At one point, SH4 was a party-based survival game. That in particular is especially interesting when you realize that SH4 has the largest cast of characters in the franchise. They were probably party members at some point. Director Murakoshi would end up creating the game's final concept. SH4 would be a much more hands-on experience in almost every area of the game's design. The flow of the action, the thrills of the combat, and the amount of story you'd take. Even events like cutscenes were in the player's control this time. SH has always been a little more action-adventure than survival horror, but the game's always set out to tell horror stories and put you in uncomfortable, scary situations. It was horror-adventure. Silent Hill 4's core design was action first, so series staples like the flashlight and radio that would slowly uncover the world and monsters around you were removed. Environments are made much brighter and in some cases smaller, and the camera system would be fully fixed to facilitate the game's action design. What's funny about stripping back these iconic elements is that I personally find Silent Hill 4 the scariest in the series. Instead of slowly finding the horror, it's all nakedly laid out before you. You can see everything on screen at all times, and it can see you. The most notable change SH4 brings to the series was the complete removal of the town Silent Hill. For most of the game, you never actually step foot in the titular town. Instead, a majority of your adventures take place in a variety of nightmarish otherworlds, inspired by the fears and dreams of the residents of South Ashfield, a city neighboring Silent Hill. This story would explore the fear of one's own living space, a horror close to home. With Ashfield being an urban environment, the narrative theming would explore fears more acquainted to a dark city. Stalking, voyeurism, mass murder, the usual Grand Theft affairs. One thing I found interesting reading through older developer interviews was the lack of acknowledging the actual town of Silent Hill. To me, it almost felt like two Team Silent Hill games didn't necessarily need to take place in that old haunted town. As we saw in Heather's story, hauntings and nightmarish projections can manifest miles from the origin point. If Team Silent's desire to move out were ever in question, then think about what they decided to name the main character of this game: Henry Townsend. This ancient evil has evolved and seemingly taken root in a new home. As you'll see, the room's terrors might be the most inwardly catastrophic. And on that note, I think it's time we take a deeper dive into the nightmare world of Silent Hill 4. You excited, Robbie? You're actually in this game quite a bit. What's gotten into you? New suit?
Yeah, I got a new suit, alright. I don't really like being trapped in that room,
Silent Hill 4 begins inside a dream. A man awakens in a twisted bedroom. A scream rings out, drawing him into the living room. The walls covered by a thick layer of flesh-colored film. The doors refuse to open. The TV static, mind-numbing. The windows fogged over. And a photo of a man unknown to our current protagonist hangs on the wall. Next to the portrait is another depicting a pile of 21 corpses. On the coffee table, we find an old picture book. The story is about a child and mother connected by a magical cord that, once severed, leaves the child alone in a place called Wish House. Before we can think about what any of this means, a ghostly apparition breaks through one of the fleshy walls. Dark blood spews forth as the spirit overtakes the protagonist. As we fade up from black, we find ourselves in the same apartment now looking normal. Henry Townsend, a completely average man who has a knack for photography, has been trapped in his seemingly normal apartment for the past 5 days. An ominous set of chains lock him inside. The windows don't open, and his only connections to the outside world are through the peephole of his front door and a carved-out hole in the wall that vaguely links him to his neighbor, Eileen Galvin. The most notable thing about being in Henry's apartment is that we see it through his eyes. The ominous first-person camera shows us the horror and the utter mundanity of Henry's deluxe abode, while also faintly covering us in a weighted blanket of unease. Henry's apartment is painfully normal. His walls are decorated with photos he's taken, some being captures of landmarks around the calming resort town of Silent Hill. His fridge, almost completely empty, houses a bottle of wine and some chocolate milk. Clearly, in his 5 days of forced isolation, Henry seems to have consumed all food besides these 2 items. Examining the large photo above the couch, we learn that the apartment's superintendent, Frank Sunderland, gifted this to Henry. You heard that right. Frank Sunderland, father to the one and only wife guy, James Sunderland. Before you ask, Yes, Frank can also be a total weirdo, as you'll see. He also isn't the only odd character in this apartment complex. Henry happens to be quite passive, to an almost lifeless degree. He only expresses true discomfort a handful of times, audibly shouting out for help to Eileen, or whenever someone inquires about his recent disappearance. Henry is a mystery that needs proper examination, and I'm happy to say that I think I've finally figured out the mystery behind his personality, or lack thereof. To really explain the message of SH4, I have to tell you about Henry's first adventure through hell. So let's dive in. After finding ourselves thoroughly trapped, we discover an old note wedged behind a shelf. The memo describes the ritual of the Holy Assumption, a ritual resulting in the creation of a realm hidden between worlds. A place that shifts and torments the souls trapped within. It's said that one man has control of this world, but the rest of the memo is too damaged to read. A shifting world inhabited by nightmare creatures designed to torture lost souls? Sounds like Silent Hill's Otherworld to me. Like clockwork, a loud crash is heard in the bathroom. Henry uncovers a newly opened hole in the wall. Strange sounds echo deep within this dark canal, and with nowhere else to go, Henry crawls inside. Slowly skulking through the tunnel, we're birthed into a familiar yet impossible world. Henry awakens in a strange series of hallways and train platforms. This very true-to-life train station inhabits one other living being, a woman that we saw earlier through Henry's window entering the nearby subway station.
Who are you? What's your name?
Henry. And you?
This is my dream, and you don't even know my name.
This is Cynthia, and she's plainly aware that she's trapped in a Silent Hill-esque otherworld. She fully acknowledges her imprisonment in this dream and promises Henry a good time if he can free her from this spiritual cage. For a short while, the seductive Cynthia tags along, but doesn't make it too far before illness befalls her.
I think I'm gonna puke.
As Henry politely waits for the distressed woman, a pair of vile dogs burst out from the restroom. The combat in Silent Hill 4 is interesting, to say the least. True to Team Silent's more action-oriented vision, Henry is the most agile protagonist the series has seen up to this point. Quick steps, light and heavy attacks, and a new charged-up swing accompany every weapon you bash away with. You still lock on and strafe around enemies, but everything feels a lot more fluid due to the game's pure analog control. Repositioning the camera with L1 is still a thing, and resources are especially limited. This time around, you no longer have an infinite inventory. Instead, Henry's apartment houses a Resident Evil-inspired item box where you can store and retrieve whatever you pick up in the other world. This might seem like a drag mechanically, but the devs mitigate this potential stress by including a ton of homeward holes. What can I say? Henry just loves holes. The environments are less expansive than they were in previous entries. Backtracking isn't a total pace breaker, and after doing a ton of high-octane melee combat, returning home actually feels good. It also helps that simply standing in Henry's apartment heals him. So for me, venturing into the other world was like going on a late-night grocery store run, grabbing up every healing item I could and banking them at home. Chilling out for a few seconds, watching Henry's HP recover itself always felt comforting. It's the same feeling I'd get stumbling into a newly discovered safe room in a Resident Evil game. It's a genuinely interesting way of presenting the typical survival horror save room that I believe actually strengthens the narrative theming of SH4, but we'll talk about that later. The fluidity and accessibility of SH4's combat allows pretty much anyone through the front door. It's mastering this new flow of combat which empowers players to engage with the title's combat minutiae. There is actual combat tech in SH4 that getting the hang of results in genuinely fun moments. Henry's charged up melee strikes, for example, actually give him invincibility frames, making enemy takedowns feel especially good with proper timing. Guns aren't as much of a thing in this game. There are only two types of handguns with limited ammo, best used on the more challenging encounters. You'll mostly be whapping the otherworldly imps trying to get in your way. The variety of enemies is what you'd expect from Silent Hill, and are a welcome challenge to this more action-packed adventure. Where things start getting serious is when the ghosts show up. SH4's Japanese occult-styled ghosts are some of the scariest enemies I've ever experienced in a horror game. These guys are genuinely invincible and have no fear getting right up in Henry's face. Between their persistence and disturbing audio-visual presentation, I can't stand being in a room with one of these things for too long. When one of these apparitions gets too close is where you finally hear the classic SH radio static. It's almost as if the game is saying, yeah, these are the real monsters of this Silent Hill game. While you can down these guys, they won't stay there for long. Permanently taking them out requires specific, limited endgame items. At the cost of making possibly the easiest to control Silent Hill game, a very noticeable drop in visual animation quality is present. Just looking at SH4 compared to 3, and the disparity in the level of detail is obvious, with the constant reuse of unaltered stock sound effects. And Henry's jittery, free analog movement, it's almost hard to believe that this game takes place in the same series as SH3. By the way, this is probably my only real annoyance when it comes to this title. The evident and persistent feeling of low-budget production haunts SH4's gameplay. As we progress, that vibe will rear its ugly head in other areas of design, but again, we'll talk about all of that later. Getting back to the accursed subway station, we can't find any way forward, so we head home. In the apartment, a note is slipped under the door. Mom, why don't you wake up? Another message hidden behind a cabinet expresses the fear that this room might be trapped in an alternate dimension. Judging by the state of this message, it's been here longer than Henry has. It also reads, Eileen never noticed. Looking through the hole, we see our friendly neighbor sitting around, not noticing us. Checking the front door peephole regularly will reveal a lot of extra story regarding your neighbors.
Help me! Help! Let me out of here!
There's something going on in this room.
What do you mean?
I heard weird noises coming from inside there.
Help!
Hey, Richard, can you see anything from your window?
No. Everything looks pretty normal to me. The guy who lives here, what's he like anyway?
I know his name and face, but that's about it.
Well, I'm gonna go call the super.
Yeah, good idea.
Damn it. They can't hear me.
As the phone rings, we hear Cynthia desperately urging Henry to come back to the station. As we crawl back into the dream, we find the seductress trapped once again by a pair of ghosts. Navigating a claustrophobic series of connected train cars eventually leads us to the platform's exit. Strangely enough, Cynthia disappears again. As we crawl deeper into the station, the all-too-familiar metal-grated and flesh-covered scenery makes its grand return. This time a lot more fleshy than Alessa's rust and blood-covered nightmare. Ghosts, hellhounds, and a massive umbilical cord-like tube block our progress. The stress rises as we hear Cynthia begging us to get back to the turnstiles. A rather lengthy escalator ride stands between us and Henry getting lucky. This is another part of SH4's design that genuinely sucks. The wall men will rock you down the stairs with a single hit, making for one of the most tedious moments in the series. With enough patience and careful movement, we find Cynthia. Her belongings are scattered on the ground with traces of blood everywhere. On the door of the ticketing booth, a crest can be removed. The temptation placard unlocks this door. Inside, we find a beaten and bloodied Cynthia.
Are you okay?
It's just a dream, right?
With the horror on display, Henry barely reacts. He reassures the dying woman that this is just a dream. In Cynthia's final moments, we see the numbers 16 out of 21 carved into her chest. Cynthia dies, and Henry wakes up, back at home. That was just a dream, wasn't it? A fantasy from an inquisitive and creative mind. Checking the window, we see an ambulance parked at the train station. Henry wonders if it's for Cynthia, but it must be a coincidence, right? Leaving the bedroom, the door is still chained shut. The radio is blasting as two men narrate the scene of a crime. Mention of numbers carved into someone perk up the ear. Checking the foot of the front door, a red sheet of paper awaits. Reading, although the cult itself is gone, I'm sure the spirit of it is still alive. There are too many strange things happening in that town. I'm investigating 2 people, or maybe just 1. I've just about discovered what's going on. The author of these cryptic red letters is an unknown, but sounds like they're looking for trouble wanting to explore Silent Hill's cultish horrors. Crawling back into the hole, Henry awakens in another dream. This time it's the forests neighboring the town of Silent Hill. Deep in these dark woods, we find an abandoned car. The engine's still running, and a diary is found in the driver's seat. The record belongs to one Jasper Keene, a Silent Hill cult fanboy, and literally Spud from Trainspotting. Jasper's diary reads that it's been a while since he visited Silent Hill, and that he hopes to meet the devil this time. Reading further, Jasper mentions a nosy guy always showing up whenever he ventures to interesting spots like Silent Hill. Jasper recalling...
Allied destroyer joining squadron. Deploying Helldiver.
Hello, John Lone, hello.
Going down a sentry. Requesting sentry. Deploying equipment package. Going in. Allied destroyer joining squadron, deploying Helldiver. Mission is a risk. Attacking map, southeast, 300 meters. Calling in orbital strike. Air sample acquired. Dropping package. Requesting tac pack. Requesting advanced weaponry. Package acquired. Dropping package. Package acquired. Dropping package. Thank you. Objective complete.
Reload. Hit the reload.
Orbital inbound. I got the terminal. Calling down a sentry.
Yeah, but you haven't finished this. You're missing front tire. Fuck me.
Illuminate outpost erased.
Dropping a pin. Southwest. Far.
Main objective nearby.
Support weapon. Dropping item.
Man, it's here, it's here.
We've got equipment. There. Support weapon. Marking location west. Requesting air support. Calling down a support weapon. Calling down a sentry. Requesting sentry. Calling down a support weapon.
Leviathan. Heads up, guys. Heads up. Harvester. GG. Nice kill. Thank you guys. Sadly out of cannon.
Requesting air support. Tagging map. West. 200 meters. Vehicle. West. Tagging map. Southwest. 300 meters. Requesting sentry. Tagging location.
Second. If you hold the reload button, you can go to a lower RPM, so you can conserve ammo and still kill a lot of shit. Yeah. Like that. Oh god, what the fuck? Reload.
Freedom never sleeps! Reinforcing!
Can I still do this? Sorry, I stole your grenade launcher. Nope. Wow.
Tagging location. Going to fly beacon. Heavy. Sending in an eagle. 50 meters.
Flies. Hey Blue, let's go to the exit. Come on, man.
Mission at 20 minutes remaining.
You can also call a stratagem from the car, by the way, while you are on a passenger seat.
Calling in extraction. Extraction request confirmed. Shuttle inbound.
Hold your horse, man. Yeah, roger that.
Tackling. Welcome
By the
to
way,
my
we have
channel.
2 working tires. Miraculously, it still works. Front foot. Go, go, go.
ETA T-minus 1 minute 30 seconds.
Move it.
ETA T-minus 1 minute. ETA T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Pelican 1 preparing to depart. Shuttle launch in 20 seconds. Reinforcement budget depleted.
Get in, sir.
Extraction complete. Pelican 1 beginning ascent.
Bloodsuckers. You pry their tentacles from the throat of liberty.
Iha. Oh my god, sorry.
Welcome back. Your unit might be an advanced species, but they're no match for the Helldivers.
Well done.
The siege upon managed democracy continues. Let us rally to her defense.
Oh yeah, I forgot. La 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 la. Da 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 dum. Da 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 dum.
Hellpod launch initiated.
Money, boys, money. Nemamo depozit.
Tagging map, northwest, 300 meters. Dropping in the head, north, far. Outpost destroyed. Democracy. Request approved. Reinforcements have been launched. Calling in reinforcements!
I see super samples.
Affirmative. Marking location, west.
Right there.
Advanced weaponry! Sending in an eagle! Calling down a sentry! Requesting sentry! Calling down a sentry! Requesting advanced weaponry! Dropping item. Found something! Rear check required. Mission at 30 minutes remaining. Requesting sentry. You may proceed to extraction when ready.
Bunker guys, bunker.
Orbital inbound. Tagging location. West. Requesting advanced weaponry. Requesting tac pack. Marking location, north.
Motherfucker.
Reinforcing. Ready to liberate. Split outpost spotted. Tagging map, west, 200 meters.
Wow.
Calling in reinforcements. Calling down a
Amazing, huh? Two of those fuckers.
air support.
Behind a pickle, huh?
Illuminate, southeast. Sending down sentry. Going down a sentry.
Yeah, there is a bunker there. Bunker. I'm coming.
How'd you like to taste of freedom?
Package acquired. Dropping package.
Throw into
Package acquired. Dropping package.
Permanent outpost destroyed. Reinforcing.
Package acquired. Dropping package.
Location. Found something.
Requesting air support. Dropping package. Switch! Affirmative.
Thank you.
Follow me.
Dropping a pin. North. 200 meters.
Calling down the sentry. How would you like to taste of freedom? Thank you.
Thanks. Oh look, money.
Support weapon. Dropping a pin. Northwest. 200 meters.
Maczek. Odi maczek, odi. Napolje. A?
Extraction is available.
Tagging map.
Napolje.
Requesting sentry.
Tagging map. Northeast. 300 meters.
Reinforcing. Calling down a support weapon.
Found something.
Calling down a support weapon.
Calling down a sentry.
let me... Gde ćeš ti? A chair for you, sir.
Calling down a sentry.
Nice. Looks pretty dead.
Pressing fortifications. Calling down a sentry. Requesting sentry.
Let's go.
Requesting sentry. Calling down fortifications.
Watch it. Rocket.
Calling down a sentry. Heavy. Requesting advanced weaponry. Support weapon.
Railgun maybe, sir. Mr. M2.
Support weapon.
I think you need backpack for the rocket.
Calling in reinforcements. Calling in reinforcements.
Pa desi, Darko. One railgun.
Requesting sentry. Requesting fortifications. Switch.
Thank you.
Sending in Eagle.
Aha. Okej. U redu. Wie Claim. Not bad. Jeste. Dobro jutro, dobar dan.
You may proceed to extraction when ready.
Što bi bilo do kompa? A da, USB. USB. Ako si ti USB porto i neispravni, dešava se. Ne, nije matična. Neispravan USB kabel ili USB port. Možda ti bago čitao mašinu. Ovo je USB port na matičnoj ploči. To nije to baš na kućištu. To ti je bukvalno na matičnoj ploči. Ili USB port na ploči ili neispravan kabel od miša. Mene je jebao kabel od jebenog džojstika koji je bio neispravan. Znao sam čovjeka ko me čita kompjuter zakucavao, nije to da butuje dok nisam izvukao sve USB kablove i ostavio samo miš i tastaturu. I počeo sam da vraćam jedan po jedan i našao sam, ne znam, da je džojstik ili punjač za mobilni telefon, razumiješ, bio neispravan negdje i Pavel je spojio nešto i...
Ništa ne pravi problemu si miša, čak i kad menjam ove...
Stari miš ili novi miš? Stari, novi ili stari miš? To pošto sad.
Stari miš, i kad sam kupio novi komp je radio normalno još 2-3 godine, onda mi deluje kao da mu oslabio malo senzor, ali ipak sam ga
Nije to
koristio
senzor.
8,5 godina.
Vjerojatno kablovi.
Mislim, ovi ulazi gde mi ide tastatura, slušalice, šta znam, sve što su kopčao, nikad nije bio problem. Ja kontam da onda domišao, brate, mislim, šta mora biti? Radi normalno. Bacio sam stari, čisto miš da vidim.
Allied destroyer has left squadron.
It's been my pleasure. Take care. Peace.
You too, guys. Have fun.
Ali osjetim razliku, recimo, kad stavim novi miš i kako se oni brže pomeraju, što jače sad.
Ajde, idi u poštu, kupi jedan mali paket i pošalji mi miša, ja ću ti ga razbiti na kameru da vidiš kako se razbija. Znači ja ne znam zašto se zamajavaš sa glupostima, ako očigledno ne radi kako treba, batali. Znači to je čist mazohizam što ti radiš. Kod Kineza da kupiš miš za 1000 dinara radiš ti bolje nego neispravan miš.
Pa istina. Nego ne znam ko mi rekao kao možda da matičem, pa rekao onda bi staro mišu pravilo problem, jebote, razumeš? Ili ne znam, dolazi nisu dobri tastaturi, šta god. Ali tako moraš to da ukopčaš, šta znam.
Jest.
Ma bežeš nis, tamo odsadi, to je to. Ajde, pičko mat. Jebat, na šok sam se preznojio. Sinoć, 3 majice sam promenio, vat. Preksinoć, to jest preksinoć, izvini. Sinoć sam radio, preksinoć. Jedna mokra, ja skinem, odem, bacim u korpus za veš, druga, legnem, provodim se, korpus za veš, 3 majice, čoveč, strašno. Jebi ga virusak. Zašto Slavko
Zašto nosiš prsten moj kad si srce davne, je li to?
Pa to, da.
To je šala.
Jebi ga mora da... Kanal je pune kulture, brate, i svega, razumeš?
Ma nema mesta, ne insistiramo na tome.
Onda se on čudi što mu akademski građani, intelektualci beže sa kanala, brate. Razumeš što ću ti kažem?
Da nas je vaspitao bolje, bilo bi to u redu.
Jebi ga, brate.
Akademski građani. Konjine. Ja se izvinjavam na mom francuskom loš.
Smo u manastiru, sad treba da pazim šta pričam.
Volim me briga. Malo interesa se. Ovo je tako Call of Duty skin da je to nevjerovatno.
Call of Duty. Vidio sam neki novi, da. Baš podsjeća dosta. A mi je Drakula okačio, ili tako? Klip. Što sam je ušao ovdje kad sam uzao, eto. Popodne radiš ili treću? Kad radiš? Ne radiš danas?
Ne. Menjali su nam raspored prošle nedelje. I onda su mi rekli kao, pa zato što menjaš kao smenu, pa od ponedjeljka radiš do sljedeće subote, kao da ne bi ono radio bukvalno 14 dana uzastopce, kao imaćeš slobodan dan u nedelju. Samo jedan dan. Dobro. Ja sam imao nedelju slobodan dan, super. U ponedjeljak sam trebao da počnem da radim, oni mi kažu u ponedjeljak, to je bilo jučer ujutro, ipak se svi vraćamo na stari raspored. Rekao i? Pa rekao kad moja grupa radi, pa tek kao u četvrtak radi. Ako danas je ponedjeljak? Da. Rekao dobro, u redu. Vidiš go palo je. Ja na pare nisam malav. Meni ili ne. Imam koliko imam plate. Ne, nisam nešto lud da nakucavam beskonačno sate i da tražim povećane dnevnice i kao ovaj moj kolega jebote čovjek kaže uplatio sam vozač i kao treba mi svaki dinar, kaže radit ću kad god me zovu. Ja rekao dobro, kako hoćeš.
Skupo polaganje sad, nije to
Nije skupo, nego deca ovo što rade kod mene u firmi, deca, momci od 20-25 godina. Oni za vikend stuku 5-6 dinara, razumeš? Svaki vikend si izlazi. I jevi ga, to ti 5-6 svake nedelje, to ti jedno 25.000 mjesečno, znaš, samo na izlaske. Kapiram, znaš. Ja da sam imao takav posao kao što oni imaju sad u firmi da radim, kad sam bio njihovih godina, možda bi ja trošio, šta ja znam. Ali, u suštini, da te pare uštekaju, mogli bi u firmi da rade 5 godina da nađu bilo šta bukvalno dok god rade. Ili da otvore mali biznis ili, ne znam, da kupiš vozačku dozvolu za kamion ili šta god razumeš. Neku varijantu da uradiš. Da kad sam bio njihovih godina, a oni misle na to da kako da pare sjebu što brže. Šta ću im ja? To je njihov problem. Nije moj. Bukvalno nije moj problem. I moj kum ovaj što ima troje ženske dece, on kad je bio mlad, tako 20 godina, 25, on je radio sa zidarima, armiračima, imao je mjesečno 500-600 evra. U ono vreme kad sam ja zarađivao oko 200 evra, on imao 2,5 puta veću platu od mene. Za isti broj radnih sati. Znaš koliko je para ostaje po strani? Nikoliko. Kad se ženio mora sve iz početka da počne, razumeš, da šteka, da skuplja pare, da odvaja, da, znaš. Tek kad se ženio. Kad je malo razmislio šta su mu prioriteti, jevi ga da nađe kuću, izvedi ženu i decu i šta ja znam. Kad je prestao da puši, nemam koliko mi je pričao da je pušio je po... Koliko ti izađe, obično pušač, kutije cigareta dnevno sjebe, ili da? Zavisi od čovjeka do čovjeka. Dnevno?
Da, pa imaš koliko ljudi pušaju.
Mislim da mi je to rekao, da je pušio po 2 kutije cigareta dnevno, kaže, to je bilo 120 € samo na cigare. I to se, razumeš, i davalo, kad god se neko grebe od tebe, znaš, samo daš cigare. Sad je stavio na papir i snagom volje sebe ubedio da mu cigarete ne trebaju, znaš. Kad je shvatio treba da plati i deci školu i treba platiti gorivo, treba otići negde sa porodicom, razumeš, i verovatno je shvatio da mu je 200-300 € na cigarete, još jedan od izdataka koje ne može sebi da priušti. Otkud znam. I kad će ovaj update za Ark Riders...
Ne znam u koje vreme oni ponašaju da luveče ili...
Nema pojma. Sad ćemo da vidimo. Ovo je vest od januara 26. Januar 27. Kaže solo versus teams matchmaking. Ovo će bolesni streameri da rade solo versus squad. Znaš kad ćete ubiti streamer 3 čoveka, razumeš, ako ga provališ odmah deo. Može da se krije, da postavlja zamke, to stoji. Ali ovako, razumeš, da ga provališ, mrtav je instant. Možda jednog noka. Napravi se dobar mamac za njih, za content creatora, razumeš, da tryhardaju, ali toga nema ništa. A inače ja sam igrao Hans Shodan upravo tako, solo protiv skvadova, pošto nije bilo pointe da igram solo protiv solo, jer zapravo u Hans Shodanu nemaš solo protiv solo igrača. Imaš samo solo protiv duosa i solo protiv trijesa. Da, nema jedan na jedan. Šta da radim, da verifikujem failove od igre?
Ja drivers.
Ma kaki, to ne, pa da mi obriše modove za igru. Ne.
Ja sam igrao i onaj Division 1-2, meni to bez veze. Imaš onaj max level, kad pređeš te max level, ono nemaš tu ubije niko. Glupost.
Misliš kad leveluješ oružje i gear i šta ti ja znam i to?
On neki određeni level sam zaboravio, davno sam igrao.
Misliš, ne rade ti štetu? Nikako skoro.
Ništa, da, pa da. Zato mi Ghost Recon ima bolju priču, sad zavisno što voli da igra.
Ja sam igrao Division i došao sam u takvu situaciju da sam ušao u neku zonu level 3-4. Ja sam imao kalašnjikov level 1 ili level 2.
Što je veća, teža je zona.
Znam.
Oni sektori.
Znam, treba mi je kalašnjikov vjerojatno level 4 ili tako nešto. Uglavnom kad sam ušao u zonu, brate, ja njima ništa ne radim. Znači ne pomerim se health. Oni mene s 2 metka ubiju. I ja rekao, dobro, nećemo da igram. Rekao, ću da igram Diablo ili Path of Exile ili šta god, ili Dotu, igrat ćemo Dotu, nećemo da igramo shooter sa level upovanjem opreme, makni mi se, si normalan.
U principu, nema radnju nikako nešto. Ghost Recon mi je bolji jer ima priču i onako open world, mape su dobre.
Pa dobro, bar te pošalju, kažu ti idi zgrabi toga ili sabotiraj, rešimo to i toj državi.
Onako velika igra ima da se igra, dobra.
Evo ga update.
Zerk?
10 giga. Verifikovao sam failove od igre i...
Sad ću ja samo završim ovo. Da vidim šta mi je ostalo, imam još jednu... Znači ti kažeš da je nešto do kompa, onda bi komp generalno pravio problem, ali tako? Nešto bi se dešavalo.
Da.
Računar je ispravan skroz, mislim, na nešto. Uzet ću, vjerojatno ću onaj, kontam onaj Logitech, onaj, ne dvojku, jedinicu, isti kurac, bet. Što on traje 4 dana, on 3 dana traje baterija. Možda uzem taj beli, to je to. Stvari već koliko bude košta dvojka nas. Kuda da izađe.
Verify Steam files of game.
da kaže, Toma je isti Ark, ne možeš poredi Shark i Division, brate, ovo što nisu isti igraju.
Babe i žabe nisu isto. Ne možemo porediti God of War i Dot. Možemo. U Dot imaš heroje koji nose sekire i bacaju ledene magije, i imaš nekakve trolove i nešto kao leveluješ gear i slično, jel da? Postoji neka sličnost iz daleka. Ali nije baš to. Dota nema priču nikakvu, osim ono kao, oni su tamo, mi smo vamo, idemo da ih pobijemo. Razumeš što priča? Koncept igre je drugačiji, razumeš, ne može biti isto.
Dobro, je MOBA, da.
Brate.